Okay, so for these, again, pretty straightforward. We are going to just, so the directions say find the sum. You guys, all you're taking is you're finding your like terms and you're adding them together. Now, granted, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. Like I know the book teaches you, so if you do negative 4x plus 9, and then you can also just like stack them so that you have 6x minus 14, and then you would just add like column and column. So like you would add these together and then you would add those together. Don't let that, I mean, that negative 4x doesn't turn positive. So let me just undo that really quick because I can foresee that being kind of confusing. That will still just be a negative 4x. So be careful of that. So let me just erase that one because, like I said, that'll get confusing otherwise. So that's a negative 4x. I don't know why that just turned black. It's supposed to be blue. Anyway, so then you would just add your terms together. So negative or positive 9 and then negative 14. That would turn out to be negative, let's see. Why is this not working? Negative, sorry, I'm thrown off. Negative 5. And then you'd have negative 4x and then positive 6, so that would be 2x. So in the end, you just turn out with, you just come out with 2x minus 5. So then your solution, you would just write down 2x minus 5. The other thing that you can do is you can just add horizontally, just like the way it's showing you. So I'm going to just clear that workout really quick. You can just identify your like terms and say, okay, that's going to be a positive 2x. And then identify that those are like terms, and that would end up being negative 5. So realistically, either way you want to do it, I definitely suggest for the ones that get a little bit bigger, if you are going to just add horizontally, make sure that you like use different symbols to like combine your like terms and double and triple check to make sure that you've got all of the correct terms that you're adding together. So if we just quickly do the next example, I'll just show you again. So you have negative 3a minus 2, and then you have 7a plus 5. So if you take those and you just add them together, sorry, I'm just checking to make sure that you have the same examples on your note packet as I do. Okay, so then again, just adding straight up and down. So you would have 3, and that's a positive 3, and then you'd have 4a. So again, if you don't like that method, if you would rather just like combine the like terms, again, just make sure that you are like doing different symbols because these are going to start getting bigger. So then you would have, what is that, 4a and then plus 3. So super realistically, you guys, super simple. These are pretty self-explanatory. I know that you have a couple more examples, so let me just jump to that slide really quick. So you have problems 8 and 9, I believe, on your packets. No, you don't. You do not have 8 and 9 on your packet. I don't know where these examples went. But go ahead, work through them. If you have questions, let me know. But otherwise, yeah, we'll talk through those next 2 examples. So do those 2 on your own. We'll talk through those 2 examples tomorrow just to make sure you've got the concept and that you're doing well with them. Next couple of examples. Actually, wait a second. Let me check this out. I hid them from myself. They're down here at the bottom. Okay. Let me just take a second, you guys, and do these. So I'll pause the video. You do that. Okay, so there's my solutions. If you notice on the problem on the right-hand side, those actually were not in standard form. So to me, you don't need to rearrange them in standard form right away, but this one down here, this should be your solution because your solution should be written in standard form. So just be aware of that fact. But overall, pretty self-explanatory, like I said. Okay, let's move on to the next couple of examples. So here, the big thing for these, you guys, is make sure that you take this negative and you distribute it through. So this is g minus 4, then you have minus 3g and plus 6. So just be aware of that. From here, again, you can just find your like terms. So you've got g, and then you've got negative 3g, so that would be negative 2g, and then you've got negative 4, and then plus 6, so that would be plus 2. And then, again, moving on to the problem on the right-hand side, you're distributing that negative through, so you have negative 5h minus 2 minus 7h, and then minus 6. So find your like terms and combine them. So that's negative 12h, and then minus 8. Because you find those like terms and you combine them. All right, so I do challenge you guys to try the next two on your own because I think you're very capable of them. So pause the video, try them out. I'm going to pause the same and I'm just going to show you my solutions, talk through them in just a second. So pause, try them, and then I'll come back on in just a second. All right, I'm back. So as you guys can see, I just went through and I highlighted because I felt like that was the easiest for me to find all of the terms. So if you're one of those people who have many colored pens, now is your time to shine. So 2x squared plus x plus 3. Again, make sure it's in standard form. And then for the bottom one, k cubed plus 3k squared minus 6k minus 4. All right, again, if you have any questions, just let me know tomorrow. But I'm going to move on. Again, here's just some extra problems if you didn't do well with the first few. Write these down, and then I'll be happy to go through them tomorrow with you if you want me to. All right, here's the last problem. So you got a word problem, and unfortunately, I forgot to put the picture on there for you, so I apologize. But these are the two polynomials. So a penny is thrown straight down from a height of 200 feet. At the same time, a paintbrush is dropped from a height of 100 feet. The polynomials represent the heights in feet of the objects after t seconds. So up here, this is the penny. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but there's the person dropping the penny, so that's the higher one. And then you have a person dropping a paintbrush just slightly below them. So write a polynomial that represents the distance between the penny and the paintbrush after t seconds. So for this one, you guys, you are just going to end up taking these two polynomials and adding them together. So you would take negative 16t squared minus 40t plus 200, and then you would take that negative 16t squared plus 100, and you would just take these two and add them together. So in the end, sorry, I gotta scroll down just a little bit. In the end, your answer would turn out to be negative 40t because your negative 16t's end up canceling each other out. So you would just have negative 40t and then plus 300. Okay, then part B says interpret the coefficients of the polynomial in part A. So if you think about like all of the coefficients that you have, basically as the value of t increases by 1, the value of negative 40t plus 100 decreases by 40. So this basically means, you guys, that the objects become 40 feet closer to each other each second. So the negative 40 represents the amount that the distance between the objects change each second. So I know that I didn't write anything down for that, but that's basically what they mean. And again, if you have any questions on this, let me know. Otherwise, this is the end of your video, and I will have your assignment up for you tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.